Bachelor in Paradise. Are Kim and Faith still together? August 13th, 2025. Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Bachelor Nation News fans. Bachelor in Paradise gives rejected contestants a second chance at love. For Kim Buick, Faith Martin, and the rest of the Goldens, the spin-off was a third chance at finding love later in life. Faith Martin nearly found love with Jerry Turner on The Golden Bachelor, but it wasn't meant to be. Kim Buick only lasted a few episodes on The Golden Bachelorette, but the retired Navy captain made a lasting impression after showing up at the mansion in his military attire. Kim Buick didn't really connect with anyone on the beachy spin-off until Faith Martin made her appearance. She rode up to the beach on horseback like a fever dream. Kim's medical issues nearly derailed their romance, but once they connected, you couldn't pry them apart. Are Kim and Faith still together after leaving the show? Jeremy Simon under fire for dissing Golden contestants. Fans aren't happy with Jen Tran's former suitor Jeremy Simon this season, but he's even unhappier with his co-stars. He's vented about the Golden contestants a few times. In the latest episode, he said that he hated them and that they were annoying. Fed-up fans took to social media to slam Jeremy for his rude comments about the senior contestants. "I'm sad for Bailey. I feel like he's dragging her down with him." Goldens are the only interesting part this season. I've never seen a bigger group of duds before, especially most of the younger men. The Goldens rule and Jeremy drools. I'm at a point where Bailey is almost just as bad in my eyes for not calling him out when he says shit like that. Like she has zero backbone and I'm kinda over it. Faith Martin finds a connection on Bachelor in Paradise. One thing viewers love about the Golden contestants on Bachelor in Paradise is the lack of drama. They've been there and done that. Now they're not afraid to tell it like it is, and they don't waste time in petty drama. Faith Martin was heartbroken when Jerry Turner sent her home on The Golden Bachelor. She initially rejected the idea of joining Bachelor in Paradise, but time heals all wounds, and she was ready to find love again. However, the other contestants now have their eye on the $500,000 cash prize. Kim Buick and Faith Martin were the latest couple eliminated from Season 10. What is their relationship status now? Are Kim and Faith still together? Kim Buick and Faith Martin were hot and heavy on Bachelor in Paradise. They proved over and over and over again that makeout sessions aren't just for the younger contestants. But will their connection continue after leaving the show? Faith is a wonderful lady. I've obviously enjoyed getting to know her, and we've both agreed that we've already established a very strong connection and will work on it outside of here, Kim Buick said in his exit interview. Did they stick to that promise? They can't confirm or deny the official status of their relationship until Season 10 ends. However, all signs point to the possibility that Faith and Kim are still together. He shared a video of their best Bachelor in Paradise moments in honor of her birthday. Faith turned 63 on August 10th. Do you think Faith and Kim are still together based on the sweet video that left everyone talking? The waves crashed against the shore of Sayulita as the sun dipped below the horizon, turning the sky into streaks of orange, pink, and gold. The cameras were rolling for the Bachelor in Paradise finale, and all eyes were on Kim Hartley and Faith Monroe. They had been the couple no one saw coming. From the very first week, Kim, the charismatic, quick-witted fan favorite from a previous Bachelor season, had sworn she was just here for a good time, not a proposal. Faith, the soulful and slightly guarded singer-songwriter, had entered Paradise with a different mindset entirely. She wanted love, commitment, and a clear direction. No one expected the two to meet in the middle, and yet, week after week, their connection deepened in a way that made even the most cynical cast members admit something real was happening. By the time the finale rolled around, rumors among the cast were swirling. Would Kim surprise everyone and propose? Would Faith finally let her guard down and say yes to a future? When Kim took Faith's hands during that sunset, the world seemed to pause. "I don't have a ring," Kim began, her voice trembling. "But I do have something more important, a promise, that I'll keep choosing you every single day." Faith smiled, tears welling in her eyes. "Then I promise to keep saying yes." They left Paradise hand in hand, no engagement, but with a plan to try the real world together. It wasn't the flashy ending the show usually delivered, but it was real. The question was, would it last? Life after paradise. The camera stopped rolling, the producers packed up their microphones, and the couple stepped off the sand into reality. For Kim, that reality meant returning to Los Angeles, where her career as a fitness influencer and brand ambassador kept her booked nearly every day. Faith headed back to Nashville, where she was deep into recording her next EP. 2 different states, 2 different worlds. Long distance is hard enough, Faith admitted in an interview weeks after the finale aired, but doing it while the whole internet is watching, that's another level. At first, the novelty of surprise visits and late-night FaceTime calls kept the romance alive. Kim would pop up in Nashville to watch Faith perform at intimate venues. Faith would fly to LA for a week of sun-soaked hikes and beach picnics. But cracks began to show, and fast. The Instagram clues. Fans, ever the detectives, were the first to notice something was off. Kim had been posting less about Faith. Faith's once frequent "miss you" captions had vanished. Their last shared photo lingered on both accounts, but weeks passed without new couple content. Did they break up? One Reddit thread asked, complete with screen caps and theories. Some pointed to Kim's appearance at a high-profile LA party where she was spotted chatting closely with a mystery brunette. Others highlighted Faith's Instagram stories showing her at the recording studio late into the night, without Kim in sight. Of course, social media only showed fragments of the truth, but fans knew the Bachelor Nation pattern. When the post stopped, the split usually wasn't far behind. Kim's side of the story. Kim, ever the candid one, finally addressed the speculation during a live Q&A. "Okay, I see all your questions," she laughed, scrolling through the comments. "Faith and I are figuring it out. We love each other, but life is complicated." She didn't elaborate much more, but her tone carried the weight of someone who knew a storm was brewing. Friends close to Kim claimed the issue wasn't a lack of love. It was schedules, distance, and 2 people who both needed to be in their own worlds right now. "She's not someone who's ready to slow down," one insider said of Kim. "Faith is more of a homebody, and she wants stability. That's a tricky match." Faith's quiet retreat. While Kim stayed vocal, Faith retreated. She posted less, avoided podcast interviews, and politely declined most Bachelor Nation reunion events. But when she finally broke her silence in a rare Instagram caption, fans read between every line. "Some things are better kept private," she wrote beneath a photo of herself holding a guitar by the window. Was it a breakup confirmation? Not exactly, but it was enough to fuel weeks of speculation. The Paradise Reunion Special. Months later, the Bachelor in Paradise reunion episode aired, filmed before most of the public drama unfolded. On the reunion couch, Kim and Faith sat side by side, holding hands. "We're still together," Faith confirmed to the host, though her smile seemed more careful than carefree. Kim nodded. "We've had challenges, but we're committed to making it work." It was a diplomatic answer, but not the grand "we're happier than ever" declaration fans hoped for. When the episode aired, Twitter lit up. They're totally on the rocks. They're just waiting to officially announce the breakup. I think they'll surprise us and make it. The turning point. Behind the scenes, the couple reached a crossroads. Faith had invited Kim to Nashville for the launch of her EP, a huge career moment she wanted to share with the woman she loved. But Kim's work commitments in LA made it impossible to attend. "It wasn't about the event itself," Faith would later say in a candid podcast interview. "It was about feeling like we were on 2 different pages." Kim, meanwhile, felt torn between her career momentum and her relationship. "I wanted to be there for Faith, but I was afraid of letting down the people who were counting on me here," she explained. It wasn't one big fight that broke them. It was a series of missed moments. The public breakup. Finally, after weeks of silence, both posted statements to their Instagram stories within minutes of each other. Kim's read, "Faith will always have a special place in my heart. We've decided to part ways, but with nothing but respect for each other." Faith's was shorter. "Sometimes love isn't enough. Wishing Kim the best always." The responses were immediate, an outpouring of love, disappointment, and inevitable gossip. Where they stand now. As of today, Kim is fully immersed in her LA life, launching a new fitness app, traveling for brand deals, and attending red carpet events. Faith is touring small venues, her EP gaining traction among indie music fans. Do they still follow each other on Instagram? Yes. Do they occasionally like each other's posts? Also yes. But according to mutual friends, there's no plan for reconciliation, at least not right now. They still care about each other, a source close to the pair revealed, but they are in different seasons of life. If they find their way back to each other someday, it wouldn't surprise me. But for now, they're living separate lives. The fans hope. Despite the breakup, the Kim and Faith fanbase, affectionately called Kith Nation, refuses to give up hope. Edits of their sweetest paradise moments still circulate on TikTok, set to romantic ballads. Fans leave comments like, "one day," under old photos. And maybe that's the thing about couples like Kim and Faith. Even when the romance fades, the story lingers. Because in paradise, love doesn't always end with a ring. Sometimes it ends with a lesson, a bittersweet goodbye, and the tiniest spark of what if that never quite goes out. Kim and Faith are no longer together, but their relationship left a mark on Bachelor Nation that's hard to forget. They may have left paradise hand in hand, but real life proved more complicated than the beach ever could be. And if reality TV has taught us anything, it's this. In love, as in paradise, the ending is never truly the end.
The sun had barely risen over the white sand beach when the camera crew began setting up for another day in paradise. The air was warm, the waves gentle, and yet there was an undeniable tension humming beneath the beauty of the scene. Kim Delaney sat at the edge of the infinity pool, sunglasses hiding her puffy eyes from last night's emotional roller coaster. She had come to Bachelor in Paradise telling herself she was here for a vacation with possibilities, but she knew the truth. She was looking for something deeper. And then there was Faith. Faith Monroe had arrived late to Paradise, a so-called bombshell entrance, orchestrated by producers who knew exactly how to stir the pot. With her sun-kissed hair, easy laugh, and unapologetic confidence, Faith turned heads the moment she stepped onto the beach. For Kim, it had been instant, one of those rare moments when someone looks at you like they already know you. Within 2 days, they were inseparable. Shared coconuts on the deck, whispered jokes at the rose ceremony, late-night dips in the ocean. But in paradise, nothing stays simple. The first cracks. By week 2, the rest of the cast was talking. "Kim and Faith are basically married already," joked Aaron, sipping his morning coffee. "They're making the rest of us look bad." But not everyone saw it as a fairy tale. During a sunset cocktail hour, Jess, a friend Kim had bonded with early, pulled her aside. "Just be careful," Jess warned softly. "Faith's charming, yeah, but she's been on reality TV before. She knows how to play this game." Kim didn't want to believe it. Faith had shared things with her, personal things, about her family, her fears, and how badly she'd been burned in the past. That didn't feel like playing the game. Still, a seed of doubt had been planted. The challenge date. Midway through the season, a date card arrived with Faith's name on it. Instead of inviting Kim, she shocked everyone by choosing Marco. Kim tried to hide her reaction, smiling through the sting. "It's just a date," Faith assured her beforehand. "You know how this works. Producers want drama." But watching Faith and Marco return later that evening, laughing like old friends and covered in glitter from some bizarre paradise party challenge, Kim couldn't shake the feeling that something had shifted. When she confronted Faith, the answer was maddeningly vague. "I like you, Kim," Faith said, tucking a strand of hair behind her ear, "but I'm here to explore all my options. Isn't that what paradise is about?" Whispers in the night. The next few days were a blur of mixed signals. One night, Faith would curl up with Kim in a hammock, whispering about their future outside the show. The next, she'd be spotted laughing a little too much at someone else's joke. The other contestants noticed. "She's keeping her options open," Olivia commented during a confessional. "Kim's all in, but Faith, I'm not so sure." Tensions peaked during a group bonfire night.
A game of truth or dare spiraled when someone dared Faith to kiss the person she found most attractive. She kissed Kim, but then turned and kissed Marco too. Kim's chest tightened. Was that really necessary? She asked later. Faith shrugged. It's paradise. We're here to have fun. The rose ceremony gamble. As the next rose ceremony approached, Kim faced a choice: give her rose to Faith or pull away to protect herself. Moments before the ceremony, Faith found her by the bar. I want to be with you, Faith said, voice low and earnest. I don't care what people say. Let's see where this can go. The sincerity in her eyes was enough. Kim handed Faith the rose, and the two shared a kiss that had the crowd cheering. For a while, it felt like things were back on track. Paradise ends, and reality begins. The final week in Paradise was a whirlwind. While other couples broke under the pressure of impending decisions, Kim and Faith grew closer again. They even discussed what life would look like once they left the beach. But here's the thing about Bachelor in Paradise. The real test starts when the cameras turn off. After filming Wrapped, Kim returned to her apartment in Chicago, and Faith headed back to Los Angeles. The plan was to visit each other, keep talking every day, and figure things out slowly. At first, they did. Morning texts, late-night FaceTimes, care packages in the mail. But soon, cracks appeared again, this time without producers or castmates to blame. The Instagram clues. Fans are the ultimate detectives, and Bachelor Nation followers noticed something curious a few weeks after the finale. Kim posted a photo from a rooftop bar, no Faith in sight. Faith shared a story from a music festival, tagged with friends, but not Kim. Then came the ultimate red flag. They both stopped liking each other's posts. Podcasts started speculating. Reddit threads blew up. Did Kim and Faith break up already? One post read. They were so cute, but I knew Faith wasn't ready to settle. The confrontation. Privately, Kim and Faith were having harder conversations. I feel like you've pulled away, Kim admitted during a late-night call. Faith sighed. I'm just figuring myself out right now. I care about you, Kim, but the long-distance thing, it's harder than I thought. It wasn't an official breakup, but it was the beginning of the end. The reunion special. Months later, the Bachelor in Paradise reunion filmed. The air was thick with anticipation as fans waited to see if Kim and Faith would walk in hand or sit awkwardly apart. When the cameras rolled, they sat together, but the space between them spoke volumes. Host Jesse Palmer cut straight to it. Kim, Faith, are you two still together? They exchanged a glance. Faith spoke first. We care about each other a lot, but right now, we're not in a relationship. Gasps from the audience. Kim smiled sadly. It's not what I wanted, but sometimes timing just isn't right. After Paradise. Since then, both have moved on in different ways. Kim launched a podcast about dating after reality TV, often speaking candidly, though never maliciously, about what she learned. Faith dove into her music career, releasing songs that some fans swear are about Kim. Do they still talk? Occasionally. Are they still in love? That's harder to say. But one thing's for sure, Bachelor Nation will be watching, just in case Paradise calls them back for another chance.